What up, guys? Today we got a question from Jared, who is a 47-year-old purple belt who says he's been watching me since he was flopping around like a fish as a white belt. Appreciate you, bro. I'm glad the videos helped. But he has an interesting question that I relate to, because he says that he is a purple belt who is a bit older now, and he's trying to stay competitive. And he says that he notices that he really has to be dialed in with his lifestyle off the mat to be competitive in the gym, right? His diet, his sleep, stretching, just all the stuff that we should strive to do when we're out of the gym. He says that when he's doing those things, he's all right. If any of those things slip, bad night of sleep, not the best food, whatever, he loses his ground in the gym and he really feels it. He says, on top of training, I run a small business, so I'm always on there too, dealing with employees, customers, payrolls, all of it. He says, life is good, don't get me wrong, but I've hit this weird wall. I don't want to take the easy rounds, and I feel like I'm just sandbagging my way through class if you take the easy rounds. But some days fighting like hard, just getting after it, just feels like too much. And so his question is, how do I adjust my mindset to be a little bit more laid back? How do I stop expecting myself or so much from myself on the mat without feeling like I'm giving up or coasting? I don't want to lose my edge because he's competitive, but I don't want to burn out chasing it either. So he's looking for some ideas. Jared, thanks for the question, bro. So I said I relate to your message because a lot of what I do is about being on. Right? I'm doing these videos with you guys right now. I got to be on. Because if I come in and do the video, yeah, you guys got a question from Jared. I mean, that's not going to be interesting at all, is it? Let me give you a little bit of insight to my day. I'll kind of go through it. And then what I will do is I'll give you some mindsets to embrace this lifestyle that you have, because it's a hell of a privilege to have. And then I'll give you some sort of tactical, very specific training tips that you can immediately use in your rolling sessions to spin this thing around, right? So as far as the day goes, just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from with this, I wake up in the morning, usually around six, just give or take a few minutes, and I get up and do whatever it is that I want to do. If I want to read a book, if I want to go lift weights, whatever it is I want to do in the morning, that's my time. I get to do that. Then my kid wakes up. And as soon as he wakes up, he wants dada. He wakes up, and as soon as I hear, he can hear me out there, dada, he wants to play. Because a lot of times the morning is kind of our family time. Evenings, a lot of times, are very busy, not always, but usually very busy. So the morning is our time. It's our family time. We eat breakfast together. Me and him play together, and we have a good time, just romping around. So as soon as he wakes up, dada, so I got to be on for him. I can't be, mailing it in for my son when I get this precious time with him one time in my life, right? So I'm like, all right, dude, let's go. Let's play. Let's do whatever we're going to do. This morning we were playing, I turned a cardboard box into a submarine. We got a little periscope down there. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, then I come to the gym. And when I'm at the gym, people are there to train, and I've got to bring energy into the room. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but if the coach, the person leading the gym or leading the class, they come in, they're just cashed out, the whole group, the dynamic, the energy is going to come down. So I got to come in there and be like, let's go, guys. What's up, man? How you doing? Like, talking to everybody, getting the sort of the energy going. And then when I'm teaching a move, I have to be on. I can't just, yeah, guys, take this arm here, whatever. You got to be on, because if you're not giving it energy, people are just going to tune out. At least that's been my experience. All right, so now we're done with that. Well, now it comes time to do videos, do this, talk to customers, whatever I've got to do in the middle of the day, which again involves me to be on. Right now it's after class, so I'm doing these videos with you guys, and I have to be on during these videos. And then I'll teach typically classes in the evening, or I'll do some other stuff in the evening, just depends on the day. But let's say if it's a busy day, I'm teaching classes at the evening. Got to be on again. And then I got to go home. And when I come home, my son's usually sort of winding down for the evening. And so me and him will read books together, or, things like that. And, he goes to bed. And not every night, because sometimes I get home too late to do that. But if I get home, I like to spend a little bit of time with him. And then I have to hang out with my wife, catch up with her, listen to her day. And again, be present with her. Now, there's nothing unique about my situation, right? I'm a small business owner like you who also trains, and I do a lot of other stuff. But again, nothing unique about it. But it's a lot. Because then I go to sleep, and then as soon as I wake up in the morning, boom, back to 6 a.m., we're rocking and rolling. Not much downtime through the day. A little bit on the weekends, but not much downtime. The things that have helped me, because I know exactly what you're talking about being on. It can be exhausting sometimes. Here's a couple ideas to think about. One, I like the sentiment that Marcus Aurelius talks about. It's a pretty common Stoic sentiment that you get to do this. It's a privilege. I believe I saved it for this video in particular. It was in his meditations. He says, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love, basically to do whatever it is you're doing, right? I couple that with the thought of the jobs that I hated before I did this. And I think, man, how lucky am I? I get to do all this stuff that I'm doing. This stuff, I dreamed about this stuff. Some of this I couldn't have dreamt about. I couldn't even imagine what I'm doing sometimes. I'm like, I'm so lucky. And then on the other side, I also think about a sort of negative thing where I think about my mother when she was in a cancer ward, when they're in the cancer floor, and I think about all the damn sick people there who are like, in my mind, they probably are like, dude, I wish I could have a rough day like your day's having, right? I wish I just had to be on for a day. And usually that snaps me the hell out of it pretty damn quick. You know what I mean? You put all that together. And so for you, I would think about that. One, you get to do this, bro. Lucky. You live in a place, you exist in a time, you live in a country where you get to have a small business, you get to do jiu-jitsu stuff on the side. I mean, you're so friggin' lucky. Remind yourself of that, because we can forget that. We can take things for granted, can't we? Think about an old job you had. Maybe you had a job you didn't like. Think about that, because if you were stuck at that job, you'd be like, damn, I wish I could own a small business, right? Here you are. You got it. And then maybe you think about something like that where maybe you have someone in your life that's gone through some stuff, and you just remind yourself that whatever bad day you're having, if you're healthy, if your body's still going, bro, you're good. Shake off your shit a little bit. So that's kind of the mindset part of it. You got to spin this thing or reframe it. You get to do this. You're lucky. Now, here's the tactical training idea. You have to remind yourself that what you're doing is play. It's a game. It doesn't mean anything to anybody for the most part. I mean, if you're competing, maybe it means a little bit more, but it still doesn't matter to anybody. This isn't the way that you put food on the table. This is just something you do for fun. And it's so crazy how we take something that we enjoy and we just pervert the whole damn thing with, I gotta win. I gotta have success and progress. Just enjoy the damn thing that you're doing, bro. Go in there and have fun with it. That's it. And if someone beats you, who gives a damn? So what? You're 47 years old. Do you think you're going to hang with 25-year-olds for the rest of your life? You're going to slow down. There's videos of me. I'll post them down in the description where I have videos of me rolling where I'm off. There's one day where basically Brandon beat my old wrestler guy, Brandon, beat the crap out of me. I came back. I didn't realize I was actually getting sick. I got sick the next day, but I was like, man, I feel off. But I rolled and he beat the crap out of me. I was playing all defense. There's another time where I remember I came back from, right when I came back from COVID, and I remember my wind sucked. I just couldn't breathe, bro. It's like, it was weird. And so I, recorded the video, just me playing all defense, fighting out of arm bars, fighting out of submissions, whatever else. Have fun with it. And as far as the sandbagging, whatever, what you do is when you roll with those particular people, and you should roll with people that are a little bit lighter sometimes, you should roll with them and then start working on stuff. Maybe you want to work on a particular type of arm bar or something like that. Use those people for that purpose. Don't just go and smash them. Play around with new stuff. Mix it up a little bit. Get out of your normal rhythm and your normal routine. Try something different. Build your game up that way. That's a way for you to have an easier round, but a very productive round. And then also consider this. You may want to think about how you train and maybe think of it as lifting. When you go into the gym and lift, some days are going to be lighter than others, aren't they? Maybe you have a day where you're going really heavy on a particular exercise or set of exercises. Maybe on the other exercises you go lighter, or maybe on another day you go lighter. And we don't think of that as a bad thing. We think of it as okay, that's necessary, right? Well, this is necessary. You're going to have hard training days. You're going to have lighter training days. You don't need to have a hard training day every single day you come into the gym, especially not near 50, bro. Even some of my students who are college wrestlers, they talk about this. Now, granted, they're going very intense on their hard days, but nonetheless, they would have hard days and they would have light days, hard days and light days. And they each had a specific purpose. They were working on something. And so even on those lighter days where you're not taking the harder rounds, you can still get a lot out of them by being very deliberate with your training and figuring out, okay, like, what do I want to work on with these guys? And you're a purple belt. So this is at the point where you really need to start, I don't want to say training yourself, but you need to take a hand in it because you know enough. You know enough to get by now. You know what, you can basically teach yourself stuff to some degree. You can get all the critiques and stuff from your coach, but you know enough to get by now. So now you should be thinking about, what do I want to work on? And direct it a little bit. And the best place to do that is with the roles with the less experienced people. And so that is a way, again, to reframe and actually get something from those lighter rounds and be completely okay with it because you're actually training with them for a specific purpose. And again, as an older guy, you're going to have to come to the grips with you can't have a hard training session all the time. And that's just the way it is, dude. You know? And as far as like all the sleep and diet and everything else, that's what you should be doing, right? That's a good thing. I'm with you on that. Like I live a very disciplined life, and I do in part because if my sleep, if my diet, if any of that stuff's off, I'm just not who I want to be. And so I just don't engage in a lot of the behaviors and activities that others do, like certain types of food, too much alcohol, shortened sleep. I just don't engage in it. Can't do it. So anyway, long video. But hopefully, Jared, you get something from this and got a couple ideas to chew on. So thank you for the question, brother. Talk to you guys next time.